Doumbouya has rejected the appointment of a mediator by regional bloc ECOWAS. At its extraordinary summit over the weekend, leaders of the Economic Community of West African States appointed Mohamed Ibn Chambas to be the special envoy to Guinea. This in efforts to resolve a crisis caused by a coup on September the 5th. In a letter to the regional bloc, Doumbouya says the appointment of a special envoy does not appear opportune or urgent and is likely to compromise the political transition in the West African country. Doumbouya says the establishment of a transitional body in Guinea is proceeding as planned. He says his government is available for dialogue and collaboration with ECOWAS. Well, for more on this, we're now joined by Achike Chude, who is an African Affairs analyst based in Lagos. Achike, thank you for joining us. Why are we seeing the continued rejection of ECOWAS envoys there?
I think it is obvious that the psychology of the coupists, their ideological orientation or compass, their objectives are at variance with those of the ECOWAS. Obviously, there is no agreement on the issue of democratization, no serious agreement on the transition. Committee. There's no mutual agreement on timetable to return to civilian rule. And even if there was, in some of these countries, it is very clear that the military adventurers are not comfortable with it. They want to run their show. They are interested in power for the sake of power. And so ECOWAS is becoming an irritant in the whole process. It's interfering with their own game plan. I think that is just what the whole thing is all about. That's why and of course they have seen a weakening of ECOWAS essentially, that they can do these things and they get away with it. So obviously the idea that ECOWAS has, its objective for democratization of these countries are at variance with that of with those of the military putschs. That's why they're beginning to see a rejection of ECOWAS envoys.
And looking at the wider picture then, what are the implications of this rejection on dispute resolution efforts in the region?
Well, the implications are wide ranging and quite serious. Because the reality is that ECOWAS is no longer seen as being quite authoritative when it comes to, in terms of the intervention in these other countries. That they're in a position to now dictate the pace to ECOWAS means it's a weakening of ECOWAS's stand and credibility. And so what it means is not just that it reduces the ability of ECOWAS when it comes to conflict resolution, but it also empowers other people, other militaries in other parts of West Africa to also do what others have done without much punishment coming, their way. And in the past, I have talked about what seeming incentivization of some of these coupists. They stage a coup. They remove legally constituted government in their countries, and then they are part of the process bringing these same countries back to their democracy. So it will seem as if instead of them being punished for the actions they have done, it would seem as if that they are being incentivized by the agreement that ECOWAS has with them, and that has strengthened them.
Achike, thank you very much for speaking to us on Africa Live. Achike Chude, African Affairs analyst, joining us live from Lagos.